Hey everybody, welcome to Obscurities and Miniatures, and today we have something that is not very miniature, but it is absolutely in the realm of obscurities, and that is this new plastic model kit, because it says so right there, of Alphamon. This is part of the Digimon line. He doesn't look much like a Digimon back in the days when they were cutesy Pokemon knockoffs, which actually came before Pokemon, to be technical, but you get the idea. Anyway, this is part of their Figurerise line of kits. This is the amplified one, though, which is a little bit different, a little bit larger, a little bit bulkier, a little bit more mechanic, and it's also part of the X evolution of the Digimon stuff, which is a lot more high-tech looking. So when I say that this is not very miniature, here is a standard Gundam box. Okay, so you can see this is a big kit, and I don't know why the box is so large. I mean, it's not the first time I've had an overly large box, but you can see he is quite the impressive, regal-looking Digimon / dragon armored knight warrior thing. So, a little bit of a view of him there. I don't remember. I'm going to have to go back and see the video I made on Imperial Dramon. I always thought they were kind of related in terms of design, but I could be completely wrong. Just the size of those lower legs, pretty big. Not much in the way of stickers, that's always a plus. A lot of gold color-coded parts there. Looks like joints of some sort. And a repeat of that same sprue. More gold stuff. Yeah, it is labeled Alphamon. I'm really curious if there are any parts that correspond to the Imperial Dramon kit. I'm looking at all of the labels just to be safe. Yep, they all say Alphamon. His sword. Sadly, he doesn't have his Oryuken or whatever his giant blade is that he eventually acquires as you evolve him. I spent most of the time I had COVID playing Cyber Sleuth on my Switch, and I saw that they have a new, re-release of the older Digimon World 4 coming out for the Switch, which, let's be honest, I'm a sucker for them, so I'll probably end up getting it. Alright, I'll spare you guys the time of looking at the various sprues. They're pretty standard issue. Let's get to the real meat of this. One of the things I do want to actually spend some time looking at with you guys, though, is the cape. So the cape is kind of interesting. Now, I believe they did this as well with the amplified Omnimon, Omegamon, whatever they want to call him. We saw something similar with the Gekkenspence from Super Robot Wars, where they had these kind of just translucent plastic acrylic, I don't know if it's acrylic, laminate bits, so you can see this is like, it goes on his hand there when he puts up his magic spell stuff. And a similar thing with the cape. I have no idea how I'm supposed to remove. Oh. Remove slowly and carefully. Remove the sticker slowly and carefully from here. Okay. I have no idea what I'm doing with that, so I better hold off and wait and see. As always, there is a little blurb, both in English and in Japanese. A nice touch, considering how often these kits end up in the States or in the English-speaking world. I know there's quite a few fans outside of those countries in Latin America and in Europe as well. But the fact, this is the first one I actually found in the States. Hadn't even seen it online. My usual Japanese grocery store that we go to happened to have it, and I was like begging and pleading Mary, please let me get it. So it's all good. She had to go visit her family in Japan, and I knew she was not going to be wanting to carry this back for me. Okay, so it looks like we're going to actually attach, I don't know what we're attaching it to. A and G. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Now there's little plastic bits that go between them. So I think it's going to be kind of like just transparent, translucent, shiny, and ethereal. It's not really hard like the earlier stuff. I want to say a lot of the other figures have had something similar, so that you can see here how the spell effect goes on the hand there. I think that's kind of cool. And then the boring regular sword. There is no actual transformation, which I'm happy about. I thought that was a major hindrance to Imperial Dramon. I'm kind of curious about his Paladin mode as well. If there's a transformation. I'm going to assume there is, but I don't know yet. Anyway, I'm really curious to put this guy together, so give me a sec. We'll see how he turns out, and hopefully we'll grab some other Digimon. I might have to get them from work, but we'll take a look at them too. Sit tight. Alright, Alphamon's all put together here. And, well, he's pretty big, pretty impressive. It's hard to discern a lot of the details on camera just due to the lighting and how dark and shiny the armor is. And for that, I apologize. Let's see if I can lighten it up a little bit. So, overall, construction-wise, you know, it's fairly straightforward. He does suffer from the typical Digimon limb syndrome, where they have these long, spindly limbs, unfortunately, and these giant bulbous feet. But that's not really the issue with this guy. Construction, like I said, is really fine. I mean, even the stickers, no issue. The boosters are really cool. The cape was an interesting construction, and it's a repurposed version of the amplified Omegamon. And I don't know if that's where the problem lies, but when he is standing, let's see if you can see it. Do you see right in there? His cape is just too long for him. So that's the centerpiece, and I guess maybe I need to adjust the length of it overall. You can see here it just wants to kind of get smushed against the ground. So I guess if you haven't perched on top of something, fantastic, it'll work great. I don't. So I'm trying to figure out where exactly I'm going to set him so that the cape doesn't get completely messed up. And so like the boosters, you know, posability is great. Other than that, and the fact that that cape is so large does kind of weigh heavily on the actual model. Which, like I said, in terms of posability, is fine. I'm not a big fan of his eyes. They look kind of silly. And I don't know if it's just I didn't put them on right or something. I mean, I follow the directions. Something about those eyes just, it looks silly. Like they should be encased further in the helmet or something. I don't know. I do like that there is a little bit of space for the claws on his feet to move. I don't know where I put his little magic spell that goes around his hand. It was appreciated that it came with him. Grabbing the only other Digimon that I have handy, being Beelzebubmon. Beelzebubmon? Is that his name? And just to give you guys a good size indication, with a 1/144th Gundam. So it is pretty big. I'd say about Master Grade size. I haven't built a proper Master Grade Gundam kit in a few years. So maybe that's something I need to rectify in the near future. Looks like we're going to be heading to Japan in the near future as well. So hopefully we'll get that straightened up. But yeah, other than the cape being an issue with just the overall length, I mean, he's got a nice presence. Definitely, I wish that they had used a similar body frame for Imperial Dramon, who I feel is really, really loosey-goosey, unfortunately, due to his transformation gimmicks, which I'm never a big fan of for that very reason. But outside of his silly-looking eyeballs, which I don't know how I'm going to correct, overall, it's pretty cool. You know, torso's nice and sturdy, even with the cape on. I'm just trying to figure out what did I do, what can I do, in order to get that cape. It's just going to eat at me and bug me, knowing that the cape is constantly tripping him up underneath his feet. It's just like, it's there and I know it. I do also like that these extra parts are on a ball joint, so you can get all kinds of, you know, kind of dynamic posing with that as well. So if you want something different, I'd say it's a cool little model to invest in. Not that little. On the other hand, you are going to need some shelf space with that cape of his. But, you know, it looks very noble and dramatic in his stature. So if it's something that you are familiar with, something different you want to build, by all means, I would recommend it. I'm also kind of curious now about the Omegamon Amplified that this cape comes from, so maybe we'll see that back on this channel as well in the near future. In the meantime, though, I think that wraps things up with this, and we will definitely keep an eye out for more Digimon in the future. So, with that said, this has been High Lord Tamberlane with Obscurities and Miniatures, saying thanks for watching, and we will see you back here soon. Bye-bye.